Yeah, that's a very good question. It's a very challenging issue. And I think we need to look at it from the right perspectives. I'd like to just step back a little and say that if we talk about electric vehicles, a lot of it, of course, comes from the Western world. The concepts and the ideas and the technologies. Um, but all of these electric vehicles, or most of these electric vehicles, are built for speed. They're built for range, and they're built for fast charging. Now, that's a need of the developed world. I would say countries like India, our needs are quite different. And I think the vehicles that the Tatas and the Mahindras are coming out with are, more conducive for our environment. So one is we don't need vehicles that need to travel very far. Again, when I'm talking about there are different segments. So I'm talking about, mobility within a urban landscape. We don't need vehicles that travel very far. Most of the, on an average, I think people travel less than 40, 50 kilometers per day. Two is we don't need a vehicle that travels very fast, because most of our cities are congested and we travel at on an average of, I would say, 40 kilometers, 50 kilometers per hour. And so the kind of vehicles that we need needs to be quite different, and more what you say, tuned towards our environment. So if we, for example, build vehicles that are, say there are high voltage vehicles and there are low voltage vehicles. And with electric vehicles, I think the opportunity is to kind of kind of define the vehicle segments a lot more closely. If you look at legacy automobile industry, the segmentation has been very broad. And, there is you use a vehicle that weighs over 2,000 kgs to travel a weight of, say, 100, 200 kgs, which is not very efficient. So likewise, with electric vehicles, if you don't right size the vehicle, then you're making it very inefficient. For example, if you build for range and you carry, say, a 40 kilowatt hour or a 50 kilowatt hour battery pack, the batteries itself will weigh about 400, 500 kgs. And then because of the additional weight, you need to have a more powerful motor, and the efficiency then goes down. So right sizing of vehicles, I think, would kind of reduce the charging problems. So if a vehicle, for example, can be charged, a personal vehicle which you use on a daily basis to travel, say, 40, 50 kilometers, and you come home and you have a wireless charging pad, and you just come, park, and move on, that would be very ideal for most people. And for those occasions when you need to really travel long distance, might be once a month, or you should be able to hire or lease hire a vehicle, and a bigger vehicle, an SUV, and then take it out. So ownership of vehicle, I think, is also a constraint, and relooking at right sizing of vehicles can actually reduce the constraint of charging. All said and done, with electric vehicles, the power is available almost everywhere. Every residence, for example, is a source of power. I was, in fact, watching this serial that is launched on Apple TV, The Long Way Up. And so there are a set of two guys who travel on electric Harley Davidson bikes from right from South America up to North America, and along with two Rivian prototype vehicles. It's a very interesting ride. They show how with electric vehicle, actually charge points are available everywhere, except that because of the size of the battery and the power requirements, sometimes the charge points are not sufficient to charge the vehicle. So there are other ways in which you can overcome the charging constraints. Swappable batteries is one of the options that is also there. So we need to look at multiple options for charging. And I think if we look at it, one, right sizing the vehicle, and then two, looking at appropriate charging or swapping needs, I think we would be able to solve this problem.